Welcome to another day of Smokin' with Joe. Today we are going to make a smoked pulled pork a la Ninja. Now, yeah, I know we've made it before, but today we're going to do something a little different. The last time, if you remember, it took about 9 hours, and I gotta say, a lot of people are really missing out because they don't want to spend 9 hours making pulled pork. So what we're going to do is make a shortcut version, and this shortcut version is going to be done in about 4 hours. So that means you can basically have your pulled pork thrown into the smoker at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and be serving it on the table sometime around 5 o'clock. And I think that that is pretty amazing. So make sure you stick around to the very end, see how it all turns out. Plus, we'll be showing you a discount coupon code for some great deals at bradleysmoker.com. Don't want to miss out on that. To start, what I'm going to do is what I usually do to prepare a piece of meat, and that is I weigh it. And the reason I weigh it is because I like to know how much salt I'm going to put on it, and that kind of determines what the rest of the recipe for, say, a rub is going to be. This weighs about 3 pounds, less about 2 ounces. So what I like to do is put on about a half a teaspoon to 2/3 of a teaspoon of salt per pound of meat. So I'm going to give this about 2 teaspoons of salt. And because I gave it 2 teaspoons of salt, the ratio I'm using in here is 2 teaspoons of coarse ground pepper, and then I've added a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of onion powder. And that's it. A very simple rub. So let's get this coated and in the smoker. I love these little shaker bottles. They're so handy for putting on rubs. Okay, and because I've measured it, I know exactly how much to put on. I'm using all of it. It's real simple. Get the other side. It goes on fairly liberal. I'm going to get the edges here. This makes a very tasty rub, especially when you smoke it with a nice hickory or alder or cherry, whatever you like, really. A little extra. All right, and we don't want to waste it, so we're going to roll it right around on the cutting board here and pick up any of the loose stuff. There we go. Next stop is the smoker. And that's going to go in just like this. And another simple setup. You probably notice I have a tray in here, and I use that just to catch the drippings off the roast as it heats up. Okay, so real quick. 240 degrees. Three hours. And 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to come back and check it in a few minutes, and the roast will be smoked in about 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. Okay, looks like we're all done. And you'll probably notice that I didn't do any internal meat temperature checks or anything like that. It doesn't matter, because what we're going to do next is what's going to cook the actual piece of meat. So let's take a look. Perfect. Okay, and now for the Ninja part of the operation. This pressure cooker is literally called the Ninja. So all I'm going to do is pop it in and turn it on, and that's part 2 happening. There we go. Throw that in there too. Okay. Requires about 3/4 of a cup of water. And start her up. Okay, all we're waiting for now is for the preheating process. Then it gets into the countdown for an hour and a half. And then we'll have ourselves some smoked pulled pork a la Ninja. Yeah, I know, purists out there are gonna be scoffing the whole thing, but let me tell you, after it comes out of the pressure cooker and it just falls apart and it still has that wonderful smoky flavor, well, you'll be changing your tune, I'm sure. And frankly, I'd rather be saving the 5 hours extra that it takes me to cook this. This is about a 4-hour and a bit process now, so I'm not going back. So the pressure cooker has finished counting down now. It's basically just turned it off. There's still a lot of pressure in here. I've got to let it out of the safety valve. So I just put a piece of cloth over top and let it hiss until it stops hissing. Then it'll be safe to open the lid. If you try opening the lid without letting the pressure out, you'll probably burn yourself. And I doubt if that would be fun. Okay, I would say that that is safe to open. Pretty mushy, so you want to use a few broad surfaces to get that out. This is very nice. It's a little different tasting than when you bake it the whole time. You know, but the texture is maybe just slightly more chewy. It's not so bad. It's very similar. Maybe I could have left it in here for a little while longer. Who knows? But you know, 2.5 hours in the smoker and 1.5 hours in the pressure cooker. 4 hours as opposed to 9 hours of cooking. I'm going with this route anytime, and it's comparable. You're not really losing out on anything, so I highly recommend it. And as promised, here's a discount coupon code for some great deals at bradleysmoker.com. Make sure you get over there and check it out. Well, this is going to be a great dinner. And for those of you that have never made smoked pulled pork in the smoker because of the amount of time it takes, I highly recommend you try it this way because you don't really want to miss out on this. It's too good. Anyways, until next time, we'll see you then.